You know what's funny? Most people treat saving money like a test of willpower. Like you're supposed to wake up every single day and choose to be disciplined, choose to skip the coffee, choose to say no to that thing you want, choose to feel like you're losing. And here's what happens with that approach. You'll last about 2 weeks, maybe 3 if you're really committed. Then life gets busy, you forget to transfer the money, you see something you want, and suddenly the whole thing falls apart. Not because you're weak, but because you built a system that requires you to fight yourself every single day. That's exhausting. So let me ask you something. What if you didn't have to choose at all? What if the money just disappeared before you ever saw it, before your brain even registered it as something you could spend? That's not a trick. That's not some motivational mindset shift. That's just smart design. Let me show you how this actually works. The average American sees money hit their checking account and immediately starts making decisions. Rent, groceries, gas, subscriptions, that thing on Amazon, and whatever's left over at the end of the month. That's what you're supposed to save, right? Except there's never anything left over, because your spending expands to fill whatever space you give it. It's not a personality flaw, it's just how it works when the money's sitting right there in front of you. But here's the thing most people miss. You don't actually see your full paycheck anyway. Your employer already pulls out taxes, insurance, retirement contributions, all before the money touches your account. And you don't miss it. You can't miss what you never had access to. So why not do the same thing with savings? I'm talking about automatic transfers. Set up once, runs forever. $500 a month, moving from checking to savings the same day your paycheck hits. You never touch it. You never see it. You never make a decision about it. And that's the whole point. Let me introduce you to Maya. She's 28, lives in Austin, works in marketing, makes about $62,000 a year. She's not struggling, but she's also not building wealth. Every month, she tells herself she's going to save more. Every month, she ends up with maybe $50 left over, sometimes nothing. She's not bad with money. She's just operating in a system that makes saving the hardest option. So here's what changes. Maya logs into her bank app, takes about 3 minutes. She sets up an automatic transfer for $500. It's scheduled for the day after payday, every 2 weeks, $250 each time. The money moves before she even checks her balance. First month, she notices. She checks her savings account a few times just to watch it grow. It feels weird seeing that money somewhere she can't easily touch. Second month, she notices less. Her spending adjusted. She's not buying less stuff. She's just spending what's actually there. Third month, she forgets it's even happening. The $500 is just gone, like taxes, like insurance. It's not part of her mental budget anymore. By the end of the year, she's got $6,000 sitting in savings. She didn't read a single productivity book, didn't wake up at 5 a.m., didn't fight herself over a latte. She just removed the decision. Now let's talk about why this works better than every other approach you've tried. When you manually transfer money to savings, you're asking your brain to do something it doesn't want to do. You're asking it to give up immediate pleasure for future security. And your brain hates that trade. It will find a reason to wait, to do it next week, to keep the money in checking just in case. But when the transfer is automatic, your brain never gets a vote. The money's gone before the temptation even shows up. You're not fighting yourself. You're just living with what's left. And here's the part that really matters. After about 6 weeks, your spending baseline resets. You stop thinking of that $500 as missing money. It's just not part of your reality anymore. Your lifestyle adjusts, not in some painful, restrictive way, just naturally. You still go out, you still buy things you want, you're just working within a slightly smaller frame. And because it happened automatically, it doesn't feel like sacrifice. That's the difference between systems and effort. Effort runs out. Systems just keep running. Let's get specific about how you set this up, because it's simpler than you think. First, figure out how much you can actually move. Don't start with some aspirational number that's going to stress you out. Look at your spending for the last 3 months. Find the amount that would be noticeable but not painful. For most people making $50,000 to $70,000 a year, that's somewhere between $300 and $600 a month. Second, open a savings account that's separate from your checking. Not at a different bank that makes it harder to move money back in an emergency. Just a different account at the same place. High yield if you can find one, but honestly, the interest rate doesn't matter as much as the separation. Third, set the transfer date for 1 or 2 days after your paycheck hits. Not a week later, not at the end of the month, immediately, before you spend anything, before your brain starts making plans for that money. Fourth, do not look at that savings account for 30 days. I'm serious. Checking it constantly just reminds you the money's there and makes you want to move it back. Let it sit. Let it become invisible. After the first month, check in. See how it felt. If 500 was too much, drop it to 400. If it was easy, bump it to 600. The goal is to find the number that disappears without causing stress. Then, forget about it for 6 months. Here's what happens during those 6 months. You stop thinking of saving as a task. It's not on your to-do list. It's not something you're trying to be good at. It just is, like rent, like your phone bill. And your spending adjusts without effort. You're not budgeting every dollar. You're not tracking expenses in some app. You're just working with what's available. And what's available is $500 less than it used to be. By month 6, you've got $3,000 saved. Not because you were disciplined, because you removed the choice. Now let's talk about what this actually buys you. Because $6,000 a year isn't life-changing money on its own, but it's leverage. It's the ability to quit a job you hate without panicking. It's the ability to handle an emergency without a credit card. It's the ability to stop feeling like you're one bad month away from falling apart. That's not wealth, that's stability. And stability is what gives you room to actually build wealth later. Most people never get there because they're stuck in this cycle of saving nothing, feeling stressed, trying to save everything, burning out, and starting over. This approach skips the cycle. You just save consistently without ever entering the fight. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Once you've automated $500 a month and it feels normal, you can do it again. Add another 200, then another 100. Each time your baseline resets. Each time the new amount becomes invisible. That's how people who don't make a ton of money end up with real savings. Not because they're more disciplined than you, because they built systems that don't require discipline. So here's what you do today, right now if you want. Open your banking app, find the option for automatic transfers. Pick a number that feels uncomfortable but not impossible. Set it to move the day after payday. Then close the app and forget you did it. 1 month from now, check your savings. You'll have money there. Not because you fought for it, because you set it up once and let it run. That's it. That's the whole thing. No willpower required, no motivational speech, just a 5-minute setup that quietly builds wealth while you're focused on everything else.